In the quiet corners of our world, stories lie waiting to be uncovered. Today, we embark on a journey into the realm of untold tales, where the extraordinary meets the ordinary. Join me as we dive headfirst into a world of mystery, adventure, and emotion. Welcome to Sound Suspense, that will not only captivate your senses, but touch the very essence of your soul. This is a story worth sharing. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe. Happy listening. In the heart of a small town close to the Dawson County of Georgia, there was a quaint chapel of St. Agnes. The chapel was quite busy getting preparations done for the wedding of the sheriff's daughter Emily. It was here that Emily and James had chosen to celebrate their love. The couple's impending wedding had been the talk of the town for months, and excitement hung thick in the air. Although the wedding should not have drawn attention, it had, owing to the string of people who always wanted to be with Emily. She was the epitome of beauty and grace. Almost every person who was of marriageable age at some point in time tried to woo Emily. But she had always been a recluse. She always kept to herself for a long time, as long as the town could remember. The behavior of Emily started to change only in the last 6 months, when she met the love of her life, James. It was James that brought happiness back to Emily. Little did the tongue know that the chief engineer posted in their town would sweep Emily off her feet. "6 months back, it was business as usual in the diner. Emily was working on the coffee machine when a voice across the counter asked for a latte. She did not even look at the customer and give him his order. It was only then the customer said,
"A smile with the latte would be a lot better."
On hearing this, Emily looked up, and her eyes met the man across. It was James. James started frequenting the cafe, and the bond between them grew stronger. It was only a matter of time when they made their relationship official. Although Emily was the sheriff's daughter, James had no family, he was an orphan. Emily always felt a growing urge that James needed a family, and that she was the only one who could provide him the support. As the big day approached, James and Emily decided to take a hike under adjoining hills.
"Emily, listen, I really had not thought that I would be marrying you one day. You simply are out of my league, and I thank my stars when you said yes."
James, you know it's not like that. You are the only person for whom I've learned to smile.
"I know, Emily. But I have always wondered, why were you so cocooned within yourself? Whenever I asked you the reason, you always said no reason at all."
James, can we change the topic? Please? We are about to start a new life. Shouldn't we be discussing our big day?
"You are right. You know, I always thought I might not be able to start a family, but then I met you. You came as a light in my darkness. By the way, have you decided on any theme or color scheme for the wedding?"
I love the idea of a rustic theme with blush and gold.
"Have you thought about our honeymoon destination?"
I was thinking of a tropical paradise.
You know, I have no friends in this town, and my best friend would not be able to make it to my wedding. So maybe I was thinking of asking one of your friends to stand in as my best man.
You know they would not agree at all for my wedding.
That reminds me, did you not have a boyfriend any time, even in high school? Or any crush that I should be cautious of sabotaging our relationship?
With this question, James could see the tiny droplets on the chilly autumn evening on Emily's forehead. Her eyes could not cover her petrified mind. Emily's fingers started trembling. That day they returned from the hills only saying a few words. When James left Emily at her doorstep, he embraced Emily and calmly said,
"Don't worry. I am here to protect you."
The following days were a blur for Emily as she struggled to make sense of James' last question. The family was already buzzing with wedding preparations, and she didn't want to cast a shadow over the joyous occasion. The night before the wedding, Emily's anxiety reached a fever pitch. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. She called up James to come over. Emily slipped out of bed, to downstairs. Moonlight filtered through the curtains, casting eerie shadows across the room. She reached for her old photo albums. As she flipped through the pages, she stumbled upon an old newspaper clipping. The headline sent a shiver down her spine: Tragic Disappearance of a Neighborhood Teen. The article recounted the horrifying incident of a teenager, Bruce, who was missing 15 years back. The whole town searched for the boy, yet he was not found. Emily's hands trembled as she recalled the past. She had pushed Bruce into an abyss in the woods. Emily and Bruce were classmates. She had always been the dream of every boy. She was smart, graceful, and above all, a true goddess of beauty. Bruce was a nobody, a boy with braces and pimples all over his face. He was skinny and an introvert. As a child, Emily always visited the woods near her house. It was a place just out of town where she would spend hours after school alone, singing and dancing. It was here that one day Bruce followed her from school. From a distance, Emily realized that someone was following her. She turned back and asked a frightened Bruce, who was hiding behind a tree, to come out. Bruce had been withholding his feelings for quite a long time, and he felt that this was the right time when he was alone with Emily, and the perfect opportunity to express his feelings. Bruce came close to Emily and said,
"Hi Emily, I know it may seem weird to you, but I have been in love with you since you joined our school. The first day you walked in through the gates, I knew that you were the one for me. You don't have to give your answer right now. I will wait for you till eternity."
Even before Bruce could finish his sentence, Emily was furious and interrupted him, saying,
How dare you? You have the guts to love me. Me? Are you crazy? I don't even remember your name. I love Dickie.
Bruce was about to say something when Emily pushed him back with a disgusted face. Little did they both know that Bruce was standing on the precipice of an old abyss in the woods. A deep well that none of the townspeople knew existed. As Bruce hurled down into the well, Emily's disgust changed to fear. She came back home without uttering anything to anyone. She has been quiet since. Although her fear had subsided in a few days, she was again back to being normal. Emily was back into the present. Her breathing grew ragged, and she felt a presence behind her. Slowly, she turned around to find James standing in the doorway, his eyes now cold and filled with accusation.
"You remembered, Emily. You killed me, and now I've come back to claim what was taken from me,"
he whispered, his voice dripping with a dark sadness. Emily's world spun out of control as the room filled with a chilling darkness. Her guilt had summoned the past, and she was now trapped in a nightmare she could no longer escape. The truth had been unveiled. Emily lay still in her chair, and it was almost morning. She had not moved an inch, or rather she could not move. James had long gone from her house. He had disappeared from the town, the very same way he had appeared months ago in the town. Before leaving, James, or rather Bruce, said a final few words to Emily in her ear. His voice was calm yet sent a chill down Emily's spine.
"I am not dead, Emily. I never was. I forgave you the very second you pushed me into the abyss. You were angry and you were not in the right state of mind. I was hurt after I fell about 100 feet. But I waited eagerly for you to call for help. You did not come. No one came. I do not know for how long I was there in the darkness, hours, or days. The only thing I remember was dragging myself to the edge of the well. I found a tunnel that was connected to the well. I dragged myself to uncertainty or maybe death. But death did not come. It took me about 3 days of unconsciousness to find the other end of the labyrinth. I was saved. It took me 3 years to recover completely, or so the doctors thought. But mentally you ruined me. I can only recover from that when I see death in your eyes."
Emily was trembling with shock and fear. All these revelations from Bruce was too much for Emily to grasp. She had fallen in love with the person whom she had killed. Her past had come back to haunt her in the most cruel way. Suddenly she remembered a news of a few years later. A boy's skeleton was found from the well that wore the same clothes as Bruce the day he went missing. The whole town knew then the fate of Bruce, the missing kid. She could barely speak. She somehow managed to say with trembling voice,
But your body was found.
James let out an eerie laugh. He knew it was not his body. Only he knew that 3 years later another boy of their town had ventured out of town to join college but never returned. The same boy who had been a bully to other kids in the school. The same boy who was the crush of all girls, including Emily. Only he knew how he had lured Dickie into the woods and ended his fate in the abyss. Bruce was about to say something to Emily, but realized her body being frozen with fear. She was slowly but steadily going into fear paralysis. Bruce whispered to Emily,
"You are not going to rise from this chair anytime soon. You have a lot of time to figure out whose body it was."
As the town awoke to the sound of wedding bells, they would never know the chilling secret hidden behind the joyful celebration, a love that had transcended death and a nightmare that had become all too real.
Thank you for listening to the story. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thrilling audio content. See you in the next video.